So the movie opens with a view of railway tracks, and immediately we are shown the time of 1968, when Paul had made a Skyview restaurant to surprise Iris. Iris gets very excited, and for the advertisement of this restaurant, a picture is also taken of Iris and Paul with a view of this tower. And finally, these people come inside the restaurant. The restaurant's floor was made of glass. Everything was visible from below, and there was a live kitchen in the very center of the restaurant. People were partying here, and then Iris places a rose in Paul's pocket, and her finger starts bleeding because of the pricking of the thorn on it, which makes her vomit. Seeing this, the singer who came to the restaurant understood that Iris is pregnant. But when she asked Iris herself was just finding out from her. But still, Iris was very happy. Here she also sees that singer's son, and she felt attracted to this child for no reason. Anyway, she went to Paul, and Paul brought her to the top view terrace where he proposes to Iris for marriage. Iris gets excited and accepts his marriage proposal and also gives him this good news that she is pregnant. And with this, Paul was also very happy. Here Iris notices that the singer's son was also present here, and that naughty child throws his coin from top to bottom. The coin is shown to us that instead of falling on the ground, the vacuum pressure from AC outdoor unit drew it inside. When all these people came to the party, when all these people were dancing, it was shown that the restaurant floor was starting to shake. The coin also started to spin inside the AC duct, moving out the airflow of the fan. And suddenly the floor inside the restaurant collapsed, and all the people fell down. Paul had caught a piece of glass to save himself, which was hurting his hands. But he still couldn't save himself and fell down and died, while Iris was standing in the stable spot this time. So she was able to save herself. The coin that was spinning inside this duct, it comes out from there and goes to another place, and it causes a leak while hitting the gas pipe, due to which the live kitchen restaurant also catches fire above. Consequently, that singer is also dead, and Iris hides under the piano to save herself. To save herself, Iris came to the elevator, which was completely full of people. Before the elevator could go down, a man comes under the elevator and gets crushed. The elevator gets damaged like this, and all the people inside the elevator are also dead. When she went back up, half part of the restaurant was also leaned on one side. Moving inside it, people were saving their lives. Only a piano had maintained the balance of this whole part. That coin that was spinning in the duct came and fell on this piano. The balance loses, and this part of the restaurant also fell down, and the people present in it were also dead. Iris was also shown a son of that singer, whom she caught. She wanted to take him, saving his life. But the ground below him also cracked. To save herself, she put the ring in the middle of two iron rods, but then her hand was wounded and the ring came off. And like this, Iris and that child also fell down and died. And here a girl suddenly screamed, and we knew that what we saw was the hallucinations of a girl named Stephanie. She was sitting in her class at this time, and because of her screaming, her class gets disturbed. When her professor asked her about this, Stephanie told him that I keep getting such hallucinations and scary visions. Even at night, she woke up screaming after seeing this scary dream. And then her roommate advised her that you should go and talk to your family about this. She came to her house, and she met her dad and good brother with whom she had a very good bond, and they both went to their uncle's house, who was their mother's brother. They had a lot of attachment with their cousins. Everyone was enjoying here when Stephanie asked her uncle about her grandmother Iris. That is, Iris, whom we saw in Stephanie's visions, was her grandmother. Her uncle gets angry at Stephanie after hearing her mother's name and tells her that your grandmother has died for us. She went crazy. She left us and started living on an island, after which she never came to meet us. Because of this, your mother's mental condition also deteriorated and she also left us. Her uncle left after saying all this to her, but her aunt helped her and gave her the letters sent by Iris, her address, and some things of Iris. Among these things, there was also that photo that Paul and Iris had captured in front of the Skyview restaurant. Seeing this, Stephanie was very shocked. This picture, this restaurant, all this came in her vision. Now to meet Iris, Stephanie went to that deserted island, where there was a house, but the condition of this house was poor. In her security camera, Stephanie introduced herself, so Iris called her inside the house. Iris was also very excited to see Stephanie. She asks Stephanie about her mother, so Stephanie tells her that our mother had left us in childhood. Here, Stephanie tells Iris the main thing, that I visualized you and Grandpa in front of Skyview restaurant. And that restaurant was being destroyed. You all were dying. I have this nightmare, this vision every day and night. Here Iris tells her that the visions that you have, I also used to see all these visions. And because of those visions, I was able to save everyone in that major accident that happened that day. That day, I had taken that coin from that child's hand, because of which the whole incident had happened. And then the floor of the restaurant that was broken, I already knew that. That's why I went and announced on a microphone that the floor is going to collapse. Because of this, people left there earlier, and in this way, many people were saved from death. Stephanie asks surprisingly, did you save everyone's life that day? So Iris says, yes, that day, I saved everyone's life by deceiving death. But death continued to chase those people. Death started playing games with those people who were saved in that incident. Death started looking for those people and killing them. Not only those people, but even if they had children, death was killing them too. And if some of the people present there were saved from death and whose children were born after that incident, death started killing them too. Because if those people had died in this incident, their children would not have been born. Death was killing people one after the other when it was killing the people of that incident. Then I realized these facts. Death also took Paul into the disease of cancer and killed him. And then I realized that next time it is mine. To deceive death, I came here and hid. If I die, then death will kill your mother, her brother, and her children, and even you and your brother. But as long as I am alive, nothing will happen to you all. Stephanie asks, so why am I getting these visions? So Iris said, because now death is behind us. Hearing this, Stephanie was very scared. Then Iris gave her a book in which the details of survivors of that incident were present as how they died later, their stories were written, and also the ways by which death can be deceived. Stephanie found these things nonsense. She did not take this book, and she said to Iris that I will come and meet you again. Saying this, she went out. Iris, who had not come out of this cabin for years, decided to come in front of death to save her children, and came out and gave that book to Stephanie. And she said that death will come after you now, and to save yourself from it, you will have to use this book. Stephanie did not believe her words, so Iris said, now see my death. Here we saw that gas leaked from one place. One thing was disrupted by the gas leak, then the other. Similarly, as a series of connections, something came into Iris's face and stabbed her from behind, and Iris died there. Now Stephanie began to believe Iris's words. 2 days later, Iris's funeral was held, on which Stephanie's mother also came. Now Stephanie was understanding that if there will be a next death, it will be of Stephanie's mother. To save her mother, she began to read the book given by Iris, in which Iris had also hidden that coin, because of which she had saved the people from that accident that happened that day. Understanding everything, Stephanie now calls her family so that she can alert them. But no one was receiving her call. Here it is shown that Stephanie's entire family was partying. Here in the party, it is shown that the game of death had begun. A glass broke here, and a piece of glass fell into the pieces of ice. Everyone was taking ice from here. This piece of ice went into Stephanie's uncle's glass, and he placed the glass aside, going there. Also, all the other things present here changed their place little by little, as if everything is happening according to a plan. The glass falls from Stephanie's uncle's hand, and a piece of glass gets stabbed in his foot. Because of the pain, he falls there. Because of his fall, the vibration that occurs in the ground here, a tool falls on a machine that cuts grass. That machine starts and suddenly moves on Stephanie's uncle's face and kills him by crushing his whole face. With this terrible death, everyone was very scared. Stephanie was very scared. Now she explains to the whole family that how death is on their trail. She told that even after saving the tower that day by Iris, death began to target all those who survived in that tower collapsing. Death completely killed them and their family. And now only their family and the family of another boy were alive. Stephanie tells them that first Iris died, then her eldest son. In this way, after the death of her uncle, it is the turn of his son. And here, when my mom dies, then I will die. Everyone listened to Stephanie, but no one believed her. Even her uncle's children, her cousins, got angry with her that she is making fun of her dad's death. There was only one person here who believed Stephanie, and she was Stephanie's mom. But Stephanie was not talking to her mom well. Here we are shown the eldest son of the uncle in his piercing shop. He finishes his work and closes his shop. And as a memory of his dad, he gets a portrait tattooed on his arm. At this time, he was wearing a pin in his nose. Here, the piercing of his nose is shown, and suddenly a fan is turned on above, with which there was a magnetic chain that gets stuck with his nose piercing. As the fan turned on, the chain also spun, and that boy also started twisting. There was a lot of kerosene below, in which his lighter ignited the fire. He frees himself from that chain, but falls into the fire below. We see that the fire caught in the shop. As soon as Stephanie knows that the fire broke out in his shop, she decides to go to his shop as the sun rises. But he comes in front of her car and stops them. It was surprising that he did not get any injury except his arm. They're talking carefully when suddenly a high-speed truck comes here and shook him. But it does not harm him. Seeing this, he says to Stephanie, "See, I told you that nothing will happen to me." Here, Stephanie felt that her words were nonsense. Instead of paying attention to his words, she was paying attention to the things on the road, which things can harm him. A garbage truck passes from here, so Stephanie tells him to stay away from it. But he goes and hugs the truck, and really nothing happens to him. Now this boy says to Stephanie, "See, I told you that you were overthinking it." The other sister of that boy also goes for a walk, and then suddenly her foot hits a ball. Because of this, she goes inside the garbage basket, and the truck drivers quickly throw her in their truck. The three of them also witnessed this happening. The three of them go and try to stop that truck quickly. Stephanie, without caring for her life, climbs on top of that truck to save her. But it was shown that the garbage was being crushed inside. And in this machine, that girl's body was also shattered into pieces. Only her hand was left in Stephanie's hand, and she died. Everyone was depressed because of her death. Stephanie's brother says to her, "You were right." But at this time, Stephanie did not believe her assumption, because she was thinking that the girl who died, her elder brother, should have died. Then their aunt came and revealed a big truth that actually that boy was not the real son of Stephanie's uncle. Because of this, he did not die, but his sister died, who was the elder daughter of her uncle. And listening to this, Stephanie was shocked. Everyone was with Stephanie now because everyone had started believing her. The girl who died, her younger brother, says to Stephanie, "It means it is my turn now." "Stephanie, I don't want to die. Will you help me?" Stephanie says, "I want to save, but I don't know what's going to happen next." Then her brother says to her, "Look, you had already figured out what was going to happen. You will understand. Just observe your surroundings." Stephanie remembers that Iris told her about a boy who had survived that day. He was still working in a hospital today. He was alive, and he had also tricked death. He knew how to trick death, so these people decide to go to him. When all these people come here and call his name JD, he gets surprised. He was only called Iris by this name. These people ask him, "How do you know Iris?" He told, "When the tower incident happened, I was there. I was the singer's son." Knowing this, Stephanie also remembered the whole vision, and she also recognized him. This man also tells that Iris had come meet him many years ago because she wanted to trick death for her husband Paul. But after a lot of effort, these people could not save his life. Stephanie asks, "Are there any such people who had escaped from death?" Then that man responds, "Yes. There are two persons who cheated death, but not like this. Death first won, and death first hunted them, and they died. But after a while, they were revived by the efforts of doctors or someone else. And after that, death did not chase them." Stephanie says to him, "Please, can you help us in this work?" But that man says, "No, I have also cheated death at once after embracing it. But I also have to die, because I'm suffering from cancer. And everyone has to die one day. We can't run away from death. That is our final destination. Before that, we should enjoy our remaining moments." When all these people were very sad, then one of them gets an idea that he will feed his brother Peanut, who is going to die, because he was allergic to peanuts. In this way, he could die after eating peanuts. But his plan was that as he will be near his death, he would recover him while giving him anti-allergic and medical services. In this way, they will cheat death. But as he comes to the vending machine does not work. He was in a hurry, so he tried to take out the peanuts manually. But the screw of the machine got loose. Then they came to a room to hide. He says to his brother, "Wait here. I bring for you an anti-allergic." Saying this, he closes the door. Some buttons are pressed when the door slammed. After some time, that boy comes back with an injector and wheelchair. He asks him to eat the chocolate peanut. Before they could fulfill their plan, here, MRI machine activates. Because of its high magnetic rays, it started pulling all the metallic objects towards it. Stephanie's elder cousin, who had piercings all over his body, that machine along with a wheelchair also started pulling him inside. And he is drawn inside strangely. He could not even save himself. After breakage, the wheelchair also pulled in it due to the magnetic force. And he immediately dies there. His younger brother, who had eaten the peanut chocolate, he was also suffering a lot. To save himself, he injected the medicine, putting aside, which healed him. But then the spring shot out from the vending machine, which they had opened manually. Hitting one wall to another, that spring finally hit that boy who had eaten chocolate to trick death and made himself anti-allergic. And in this way, he also died. It means death did not let him go. Because of their death, everyone is grieved. Stephanie tells her mom that now it's your turn. I think you should stay in the house where your mom, Iris, used to live, because she also lived there for a long time while staying at that house. Stephanie's mother agrees with her, and then we see that the coin slipped out of the book that Stephanie was holding, which an old lady picks up and puts in her purse. Stephanie quickly goes to her grandmother's house, and she asks her mom to go inside. Her mom was very worried about her two children. So Stephanie said, "Mom, as long as you're alive, nothing can happen to us." Saying this, she with her brother sent Mom to her grandmother's house. But it showed to us that there was already a gas leak, and this place was also sparking with electricity. Although Stephanie's mom also smelled it, but ignoring this, she went inside. And because of the gas leak and spark, there occurred a big blast, due to which Stephanie's car also fell into the water, and she started suffering in the water. Inside, Stephanie's mom was burned in this explosion, and Stephanie's brother, who was standing outside the house, fell down. He noticed that a tower was nearly to fall on him. Before it fell, his mom saves him, coming there. And this tower fell on his mom, and she died. This boy had come to know now that now it's Stephanie's turn to die. To save Stephanie, he quickly jumps into the water. And when he saves her and brings her outside, he sees that Stephanie had already died. He gives her CPR, which saves her life again. She comes back to life, and these people are happy for this because Stephanie's lifeless body came back to life, and she had accepted death. Now they can fool death. These two were happy that both of them were saved, but they were full of sorrow because of their mother's death and others. We were shown a scene after a month later where their life had become normal. Today was the graduation ceremony of Charlie, Stephanie's younger brother. Everyone was getting ready to go there. Being excited, Stephanie places a rose in his pocket. A thorn of rose pricks her finger here, and her finger also bleeds in the same way, just like blood came out of Iris's hand at the start of the movie. After seeing this, Stephanie understands that the game of death is going to start again. The scene shifts. On the other side, we were shown the coin that Iris saved to fall that day, and the old lady who had it now. As that old lady opens her wallet, that coin slips out of her purse. While spinning, it falls on those railway tracks, which were shown at the start of the movie. This coin stops in the middle of the railway junction, because of which the train track could have been damaged. The scene changes, and we see Stephanie and her brother again, where their neighbor doctor came to them. He was a friend of Stephanie's brother. He tells Stephanie that your brother has told me about you. I am very impressed with you. You are very lucky that you are alive today. Stephanie says, "Yes, I am so lucky that I came back in a life after death." The doctor says, "No, you did not come into life after being dead. If a person does not breathe for 5 minutes, he is considered dead. But you started breathing only after 2 minutes. This condition can be called unconsciousness and not death." Hearing this, Stephanie and her brother, they are shocked. Stephanie saw the things around her, and she started seeing her death in everything. But their death was not like that. The train that went off the track after derailing, it moved towards their houses. The train could not slow down its speed. To save themselves, Stephanie and her brother both ran away. The train finally stopped, but they could not survive because some pieces of wood flew from behind the train and stabbed their bodies. Finally, both of them died. With this, the Final Destination movie ended with a lesson that we cannot escape from death. And one day, everyone has to die. Thanks for watching.